So this right here is a tablet that you can only get in prison or on eBay for like 50 bucks. Wonder how those are getting there. And it's definitely not your average looking tablet, with it being housed in entirely clear plastic, which if you've seen some of the other prison tech videos here on YouTube, you'll know that this is a pretty standard thing. But as a tablet, this is definitely one of the most non-standard things that I've ever seen. So today we're going to explore it and see what it can, or more accurately, can't do. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. So let's get the obligatory "they should bring translucent tech back" out of the way, because yeah, they really should. I mean, wouldn't it be cool if you didn't have to go to prison to get your hands on one of these tablets? This right here is the JP6S from a company called JPay, who was described by SFGate as the Apple of the US prison system. Not sure if that was supposed to be a compliment or an insult, but according to their website, this is their most current tablet model, which can be used to send and receive emails and video messages, receive educational content, search for jobs, and even enjoy music, games, and movies, if you're willing to pay some fees, of course. It even looks like they nickel and dime you to send and receive email. And for many of the prisons they service in 43 of the 50 United States, JPay's offerings are the only tablets that inmates have access to, not including contraband, of course. And depending on where that facility is, inmates might be able to buy these tablets, or they might be offered as rentals. The interesting thing about this one is it appears to have never actually been used. You can see it still has this protective layer over the touchscreen, and it just appears to be in very, very good shape. The other thing is, when we go ahead and power it on, it's only got 2 applications on it, so you can't really do much with this thing in its current state. Now, it does run Android, a pretty ancient version of Android by today's standards, 8.1, but that doesn't really matter because this thing has no network adapter in it, and it was meant to just run a handful of specialized applications that I guess are developed by JPay or, in collaboration with some other companies that they might work with. So the prison staff would be in charge of, deciding what applications they want to be on these things when they give them to the inmates. So what applications you get is going to depend on where you're incarcerated. I'm assuming that this bottom connector here is where these things would be connected to like some central computer system or docking station where all of that provisioning can take place. However, this device, you can see it says it was not provisioned here on the lock screen. So yeah, I don't think this was ever actually set up. We really should get this thing off the screen too. I'm sure that was annoying a few people, or maybe it was just me. But anyways, I want to take you into the settings application very briefly because I found this super interesting. Under System, they have really locked this down, certainly more than you would see on like stock Android. If you go into Device Info, everything here is just in a text file, so you can't even do the like tap on the Android version to get the cool like animation and all that. And more importantly, you can't enable developer mode or USB debugging. So I've not really found a way to root this thing and like sideload applications on here. And I suspect, with this being such a specialized device, the info on how to do that is probably pretty limited. I'm sure there's someone out there that's figured it out, and maybe they'll comment on this video, who knows. Now, I did try plugging this thing into a Windows system over the USB connection just to see what would happen, and it does actually show up as a removable drive, at least this portion of it down here, this 23.62 gigabyte drive or partition. This is not a memory card, at least anything that's accessible just from the outer case here. There might be something like, if we take it apart, we might find another storage drive. We'll certainly do that later on in this video. But this system partition, the 8 gigabyte one, is not accessible, but this one is. There's nothing on it, and dragging stuff over to it doesn't do anything because you can't, access any of that from here. There's no file browser. Now, I have tried to go into the FM radio application and, search around in here and in the settings program for like a link to open up a pop-up menu or some sort of browser. That I haven't found any way of doing that. Even things like, in the little notification center here, tapping on the date, which I think would normally open the calendar application, just doesn't do anything because, there's no calendar application on here. Tapping on Wi-Fi doesn't doesn't do anything. I don't even think you can tap on Wi-Fi, can you? Oh yeah, you can, but it just doesn't do anything. The screen lock thing works. That's to get to settings, and then this is just, you know, the FM radio controls, because we're in that and it's playing stuff right now. But yeah, we are very limited in what you can actually do on this tablet. So that's why we're not going to be talking a whole lot about this today. Instead, what we're going to be focusing on is this tablet. Now, I gotta be honest, when this thing showed up in the mail, I thought that I'd gotten scammed, but that's what you get for not reading the eBay listing close enough. This right here is the JP4, so it's an older model from this same company. And yeah, it's a tiny little thing. I guess maybe this was once the preferred size for a Prison tablet, or this was just a smaller offering they had. It also, which I find very fascinating, takes 4 AA batteries instead of having a rechargeable one. So I guess this might have been preferred at some point as well. But the really cool thing about this one is it looks like that it hasn't been wiped, because there are some applications and some media on here. So we're going to be focusing on this for the majority of this video, and you know, we'll be messing around in here and seeing what we've got. Now, right off the bat, this one's definitely got a lot more signs of wear and tear compared to the other one. On the right side here are your 2 ports. You've got a headphone jack and a micro USB port. Actually, the same exact thing we got on the other one. I just realized I didn't go over the ports on this guy, but yeah, micro USB, you got your headphone jack down here, a power switch, power button, volume up and down. This one, all your buttons are on top. You've got volume up and down, power, and a back button. Nothing over here on this side. There's no, like, you know, expansion card slot or anything like that. And this is not running Android. If we go into settings here, it's got some, you know, custom operating system, maybe like a Java-based thing, I don't know. But if you go to system information, the firmware base is from 2013. The product name is JP4 Alkaline. It's got a 7.11 gigabyte hard drive or flash storage, you know, whatever it's got. And interestingly enough, this over here on the left side is the prisoner's name, and I'm assuming their ID number. I think all the applications we have are just on the home screen. So we have email, music, FM radio, Sudoku, 5 in a row, push block, settings application, calculator, and the user's manual. And then you do have, like, you know, these couple different pages here. This over here is like your media controls. I don't think you can really modify anything. Like if we tap here and hold down to, you know, bring up a menu, nothing comes up. So we'll just start going through the applications. Unfortunately, a lot of these are locked. Like when you go into email, it asks you for a kiosk password. I have no idea what this is. I don't know if this was like set by the prison staff to lock people out of certain things, where they had to get permission to use email. So we're not going to be able to get into here. I think with the music, yeah, it will actually bring up, there's apparently 89 pieces of media in here. So if we go to all media, you can see, let's see kind of what we got. See if I recognize any of this. Got some Nickelback. All right. All right. We've got Holding Back the Years. Okay, yeah, some Simply Red. We got some Imagine Dragons on here. Okay, see, this is interesting, as we can kind of try and figure out, like, when this was used. Because, you know, Radioactive, that was, what, like 2010? It's 2012, actually. I was pretty close. We also have Royals. When did this come out? 2013. Okay, so that's even a year later. Oh, and look at that. There's a year option in the main menu here. But the only year is 2013. And there's only one song in there. Okay, so I guess everything else is just under unknown. Yeah, so there's only one song that actually has the year associated with it in the metadata. So, but yeah, I mean, you got a pretty decent amount of stuff on here. Now, how that got on here, I don't know. You saw they were all MP3 files. I mean, well, I know how they got on here. They were transferred over to it, like, through the USB connection. But, I mean, there's no store application on here, so, you know, I guess that would have to be done through maybe a kiosk. I mean, it does make reference to a kiosk here, so maybe you could plug this into that and then, you know, purchase songs and everything from there, or maybe the prison had a library of music that they could copy over these things. I don't know. I mean, there's like a variety of different scenarios in which these things could be used. It's going to be kind of hard to pinpoint exactly how this one was used, but point is, you got some media on here. You have an FM radio, just like on the other one. And this is, it seems to be a staple with prison tablets. The few that I've seen like footage of online all seem to have an FM radio application on them. Now we get into the games. So we have Sudoku, So there it is. It's Sudoku. Interestingly enough, that top menu bar with the home button and everything on it just went away. So I guess we have to use this top button up here to go back. If I can find, yeah, there it is. So, okay. Let's see if all the games do that. I guess they're going to open up in full screen. We have 5 in a row. So what is this? We'll start. Okay, I honestly do not know how to play this game, but just taking a quick look, the goal is to, well, get 5 in a row. It's played with Go pieces on a 15 by 15 board. I guess you're playing against a computer right now. So, oh yeah, and the CPU just won because they got 5 in a row. Let's see if I can figure this out. So what you're just gonna, you drop and you try to get 5 in a row. And I just completely screwed up there, so I got blocked. So I also screwed up there. Go there. Oh, and he's gonna totally win, because, yep. I see. I kind of see how this works. I'm sure there's a strategy to it, but God, this, like, I wanted to tap in the center there, not diagonally. This tiny little touchscreen makes this kind of difficult. So here he's gonna, oh shoot. Come on. I didn't want to go there. You almost need like a stylus, I think. Maybe this was meant to be used with one. I mean, there's not a, like, storage place for it. So I'm guessing not. It wasn't meant to be used with a stylus. But yeah, I'm probably going to lose this one as a result. Well, let's see what I can do. Oh my gosh, I did not want to go there. This is unbearable to use with this tiny touchscreen. Anyway, okay, that is 5 in a row. We're just going to quit out of that. And next we have push block. Okay, this is Sokoban, right? Or Microsoft Cheese Terminator. If you saw my video on that, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. So yeah, I have definitely played a handful of these games. These are really fun. So you're just moving your little dude around and getting the boxes over the little dots there. So we got to like push this over like that. And there's not a move counter, interestingly enough, or maybe there's one at the end, but I didn't see one on that last level. But anyway, can we change levels? Okay, we can. Can we advance to levels we have not gotten to yet on this first run? I don't think so. Those are the 3 games that you have access to. And then we have a calculator. And yeah, by the way, there is no like accelerometer in here, so you can't like change the screen orientation. I don't even think that the software supports that, even on like the home screen. You know, we can't really do that. There's nothing in the settings about it. Let's just go back into settings though. So we have language, English or Spanish. Those are your 2 options. We have auto off, which is just, this is for the screen. I have that set to always on. Screen shutdown is, well, okay. Let me backtrack here. Auto off is turning the thing off, like the actual tablet. And then screen shutdown is just, you know, turning off the screen, but leaving the tablet running. I have both of those just set to leave it always on so it wouldn't go to sleep during this video. Keytone, we can have that enabled. Now, there doesn't, like, there's not a speaker in this thing at all. Otherwise, we would be hearing that sound as we go through these menus. That's also a very common thing with Prism Tech in general. If they have a speaker, it's usually just capped at like a very low volume to where you can't get it any higher than that. You are meant to just use headphones with it. That's why all these things have headphone jacks. System information you saw, and then we have the wallpaper, which this is the one it's currently set to. Let's see what other things we've got available in here. So Misty Pure, JP4, I guess is the default one. Let's see what that one looks like. There you go. Super cool looking. And we have Parchment, Blue Grid, and Sparkle. I guess I'll just show you all of these. So here is Parchment. If I can get and hit the home thing, there it is. By the way, I did test a stylus earlier. It doesn't work on here. Not compatible. You got to use your fingers. Blue Grid, and go back. There you go. And wallpaper, Sparkle. So here is the last one. Go home. Come on. There you go. So yeah, that's that. And then user's manual. Resume from last position? Sure. What was the last position? Whoever it was looking at drafts. Tapping on the drafts button will show you the letters that you've currently saved. Okay, this is probably in the mail program. Yeah, inbox, email, home screen. It sucks that we can't open that up without figuring out what that password is. That would be kind of neat to see, because, you know, there would probably be dates in there for all of those messages if there were any messages in here. What do these buttons up here do? Can we tap on like the battery? I'm assuming this will bring up, yeah, a slider for the volume, a slider for the brightness, maybe. There it is. And then you got home, and you got back. Now, I'm sure some of you might be interested in seeing what's on the inside of this thing, so we'll go ahead and power this off, and there we go. Goodbye, and it powers off. So we will remove the AA batteries from the back in a very strange order, apparently. I don't know why I'm doing it that way, but whatever. We'll set it aside. Those are just regular Phillips screws, so let me grab a screwdriver here. Alright, there we go. So we've got this single connection here that connects the rest of the tablet to the battery terminals. Oh my gosh, isn't that cool? This is a PowerPC E200. So this thing is PowerPC based. This is a 32-bit Power ISA microprocessor that was primarily used, according to Wikipedia, in automotive and industrial control systems. The speed ranging up to 600 megahertz makes them ideal for embedded applications. So this ran some PowerPC based system. That's pretty cool. And then this over here is what, a Samsung, you think this is, well, let's look it up and see what it is. Okay, this is the RAM, and I'm guessing the 128 means 128 megabytes. And then, so that's, what's this one over here? That's the storage chip there. So, yeah, you're, 3 major components there. You got some capacitors, and yeah, I mean, everything's just on that single board, and you got your display connected to it. I'm not really going to take this thing apart any further than that. Maybe I will off camera just to clean it a little bit, because, oh my gosh, I mean, yeah, you can see definitely, like, behind here, there's some grime and stuff. And but yeah, so it's kind of neat to get a closer look at the internals on this thing. So we'll go ahead and set that aside. And we'll go ahead and take a look at the other one here, just for the heck of it. So this does have a case on it, if you didn't notice. We'll go ahead and just pull this off here. Alright, so that back piece just comes right off. We'll set that aside. And yeah, so here is a closer look at the internals. So here's our big old battery, 8,000 milliamp hours. We have, this looks like a wireless antenna connection. One of the most interesting things about this tablet is it does look like up here that there's a spot for a front-facing camera. But, I mean, you saw there is not one in here. Like, there's no application or anything to utilize one. And I think that is just like the wireless antenna that goes there and then connects to the board here. I'm guessing this is the CPU, these are the RAM chips, and that is the storage chip. Let's see if I'm right about that. Alright, and I'm already wrong. This chip right here, the 4C one, is the eMMC storage chip. It is 32 gigabytes in size. That's what the 32G means there in the model number. So that does confirm that what we saw earlier, how we had that like 24 gig media partition and the 8 gig system partition. Those are just partitions on the same drive, so there is not a separate storage medium or anything on here. Oh, and geez, look at this. Right here, it says MediaTek ARM. So this is the CPU. I did look up the model number, and this is a 64-bit quad-core ARM processor. And then we also have some other writings here. So this is, I'm guessing, a manufacture date, July 28th, 2021. Okay. And this is version 1 of the JP6. So, yeah, that's a little brief look inside of this thing. And I think that is just about going to wrap it up for this little demonstration video on these two Prison tablets. This one, of course, running Android, and this other one over here, if I can grab it, running some like Java-based or, custom embedded system. Definitely some very interesting devices for sure. This is a side of tech that people outside of Prison generally do not get to see. So I think this has been a really fascinating look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, get subscribed, maybe consider becoming a patron or a channel member to get early access to these videos before anybody else. But either way, I just want to thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.